I have a good colleague of mine here. I'm not sure if she's there. Oyin, are you here? I'm
Good
not sure.
evening, Naomi. I'm here. Good evening.
Okay. Please introduce yourself for our audience.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oinda Mola, the technical writer at Maritech. It's nice to have everyone here.
Thank you, Oyin. If you are on our mail list, I'm sure you've been getting some messages from Oyin. I'm sure you'll be getting some messages from her. So that's Oyin Damola. Victoria, we call her many names. She's a woman of many names and many talents. Okay, so I will just take us briefly on for some of us joining for the first time. Tech, like most of us know, is an edutech company where we host calls and we hold webinar like this from time to time. So yes, like I said, when you can check our social media at Tech, there you get information about our programs. So Tech, our mission is to empower individuals with tech-led skills and practical experience for professional and personal growth. Yes. So, and we are a registered company in the UK, which is where our head office is located. We operate a remote working system. Like you can see, I'm working from the comfort of my home here. Yeah, so we operate a remote working system. How you can reach us, those will be communicated with you before the end of this evening section. So tonight, getting into the main event of the night, we have our guest speaker, Favour. I don't know, Favour, are you here with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Great. Yes. So yes, I will stop sharing my screen for Favour. I would like her to introduce herself because she's the one that can say the most about herself. I can't introduce her enough. So I would like her to introduce herself and just take it from there. I'll stop sharing my screen now. So yeah, to give the floor to Favour.
Okay, thank you so much, Ayomide. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Just a moment, please. Okay. Okay. Hope you can see my screen. Hope it's visible, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So thank you everyone for being here. First and foremost, before I introduce myself, I want to say something. Whenever I'm giving webinar, right, I love the space to be interactive. I don't want to be the only one talking, right? So I love a situation where this webinar or this talk we're having is going to be not a one-sided conversation, right? So it's going to be an interactive one. So while giving my presentation, if you have any question along the way, please kindly use the emoji, and you can also drop your questions in the chat box so that you don't forget. But let's try to make it interactive, right? So if I ask any question, please do it to unmute your mic and just flow with it. Okay, so thank you. The topic of today is the tech space wants you, which is an interesting one. I know I should have some of my people here following me on LinkedIn. If you're here, let me see your emoji. At least there should be 1 or 2 persons here. So thank you all for joining. Okay, so let me introduce myself. But before introduction, let's just take a look at the agenda. So I'm going to introduce myself, then we'll see some of the growing demand for the data space, your value as a data professional, skills for success, and getting started in the field, as well as challenges when applying for jobs and how to overcome that. So about me, my name is Favour Ibude. I'm based in the UK. I'm a data scientist working with FVGI, which is also a part of Alliance Insurance. So currently I'm working in the insurance company. All my life, it has always been in the tech industry and software industry, right? So it was just recently, a few months back, I made the switch to, the insurance industry, which is an exciting one for me. I've been in the tech space for a long time coming, right? During my undergrad and, currently. So I started off my career as a software engineer. So, after graduating from my undergrad, it has always been AI, right? My undergrad project was, I remember I developed an AI system to diagnose malaria and typhoid. So it has always been AI for me, but I tell people this story all the time, but after graduating from school, there was no job, there was no data job in the market, right? So I had to go for something that was, related to what I wanted, which was software engineering. And I did software engineering for a long time, for about 5 years. Then I think around 2018, thereabouts, the trend, it started with, now, know this, big data, it has always been in existence, right? But there's always a time where there's this buzzword, this trend is just so overwhelming. So I think around 2015 or 2018, thereabouts, the trends, started popping up, big data, data mining, and all of that. So I knew that, okay, my opportunity has come, right? So at that moment, I decided to take and seize the opportunity. And it wasn't much of a struggle for me because, like I said, prior to now, it has always been AI. So I already had the basic understanding, but I really needed to understand more about the theoretical concepts of machine learning, understand statistics and all of that. So my journey started from, becoming being a software engineer to becoming a data analyst, which I did for about 3 months. Then, I became a data scientist, then, a machine learning engineer, then the machine learning engineer, machine learning operation engineer, and data scientist, they work hand in hand. It just depends on the company you're working with, right? They might decide to use these terms interchangeably. So that's been my career journey, right? So I've been in the test space for a long time now. I've been in test space for a long time. So that is it for me. And today's talk or today's webinar is I'm just going to we're going to see how we'll see opportunities and challenges as a data professional in the tech space, as well as aspiring data analyst or data scientist and all of that. Now, during the presentation, I'm going to be using data science or data scientist. Now, just note that this is going to be more of an umbrella term. So if I say data scientist, know that it also comprises of a data analyst, data engineer, ML ops engineer, machine learning engineer, and all of that. So thank you. And okay, so let's talk about, I really don't know why my slide is looking this way, but I will share this slide with you all after the presentation. Okay, so this is supposed to be the value of a data professional. So in order for you to seize opportunities, right, you need to understand your value in the world, in the market space. If you don't understand your value, you won't seize the opportunities facing you, or you might not recognize the opportunities that that you should take the most, or you should seize at that point in time. So you should understand why you're in this space first of all. And one of the things is that as a data professional, a data analyst, or a data scientist, your ability to perform deep analysis is what sets you aside from every other professional, right? So note that companies are now beginning to recognize the need for utilizing their data sets, right? So before now, aside top companies that have always had this idea, they've always used mathematicians, statisticians, to help their business grow, right? Before now, it has always been based on intuition. You see a businessman or a businesswoman, a market woman, they have a large customer base. But most of their business decision is always based, or let me not say always, it's most of the time, it's based on intuition, right? So they will sit and say, okay, how many cartons of this particular brand, or how many cartons of cabin biscuits should we buy? How many products should our inventory level is down? Okay, what should we top up with? What's the quantity, top up quantity for this particular brand? And it's always based on intuition, that okay, and based on how fast this product is selling, I think we should restock on this particular product. So it's always based on intuition, right? But they literally forget that there's a storage of data sets available for use that can actually help drive this business. So there are situations where a particular product is moving at a certain time, and the owner of the business restock on that particular product, but at a certain time they would realize that this product is not selling well, and they are confused. Why? What is happening? Why is this product not selling? Forgetting that there's what we call times and season in this data space. What sells well during the summer does not sell well during the winter. And that is where the need for utilizing your data set comes in. And that's why you, as a data professional, you are like a prize drug in this space, in the industry. In fact, most industry needs you, right? Most industry needs you. So your ability to perform deep data analysis will set you aside, right? So you can, you have like boards of directors, and you are, making decisions. Now you're not making decisions based on intuition. You are making decisions based on data sets. So whenever you're giving recommendation, you've already performed your analysis, and you're using your data to back up your decision. So whenever they're asking you, oh, why should we do this? Why should we restock on this particular product? You are telling them, oh, my recommendation is because it's the summer period, and this product is not going to do well. How do you know? Oh, based on your data set, based on 5 years and data set, you can see your inventory level, you can see the stock, you can see this. So you are backing up with data set. You are giving evidence, you're giving justification for that recommendation, which is what you need to do in the industry, right? So now how would I put it? Okay, so give a recommendation, right? Give a recommendation among your team, like almost aspiring data professional, right? Most of you are in the self-learning journey, right? So when you've performed your analysis, you give a recommendation, and you're giving recommendation based on what your insights, from what you've seen in your insight, which is most of the time it's more of a justification, right? But when you start working in the industry, you need to actually think deeper, because these stakeholders, they are going to capitalize on your decision based on the justification you've given. So that's where you now really have to think really deep, right? So if your data, your analysis you've performed, it already shows that, okay, the reason why ice cream does not sell during the cold period is because, yes, it's cold. That's normal. It's cold. Nobody wants something very cold during the cold season, right? But during the summer period, when it's hot, everybody is going for something to quench their taste, wants ice cream, cold water. So definitely products of that certain level is going to sell, right? That is based on that's a justification, but then you have to give more detailed justification. That's where research comes in, right? So if you really want to explore it, you really want to be valuable in this field of, data analysis, you need to incorporate research into your analysis. Yes, your data set is going to give you evidence and justification for your recommendation, but you should also perform research, right? Which is going to help you a lot, right? So that when you're talking to stakeholders, they will understand, they would know that, okay, definitely this person exactly know what they are doing. So one other value as a data professional is that you'll be giving data-driven decision making, right? Which is similar to what I've said. So you are going to be making decisions based on, the data sets, your analysis, and we also have predictive analytics. So this is more forecasting, right? You are able to forecast and, give recommendation decisions that can help the business thrive. You can tell the board of directors, your stakeholders, that, okay, this product we are thinking of restocking, I don't think this is the right time to do this, right? I don't think this is the right time to do this. This product is only going to sell during this certain period of time. So if we restock more than this certain level, this product, if it's a perishable product, is going to get wasted, right? So you're speaking with confidence, right? So that's your value. The outside world already knows your value. So you as a person, you need to understand your value. That's the only way you can capitalize on it, right? Another thing is, uncovering customers' insights. So what does that mean? You are able to uncover what your customer wants through their feedback, right? So if you own a small business where you sell service or you render services online, you can go to your customers' feedback, and you reading through the feedback, you can tell, okay, this is what our customers want, or this is what they don't want, right? Now with data analysis, you can make this process faster. You can perform natural language analysis. You can use their libraries that can help you, segment test-based analysis to understand what customers want. So there are a lot of things. Another thing is, fraud detection. Now we all know that the rates of fraudulent activities online is on the rise. We all know that, especially for insurance companies, banks, financial institutes. Some black hackers are trying to look for ways to penetrate into this system, and that's where you come in as a data professional, right? You are able to build a robust system that can help the company. Most of these financial institutes, they are losing billions of dollars, trillions to fraudulent activities. So if you know your value as a data professional, you can capitalize on that, right? You are able to build a robust system that can help this business, right? That can help this business prevent financial loss, prevent fraudulent activities in real time. So these are some of the values you can give out to the industry, the company, or anywhere you find yourself, right? Then let's talk about the growing demand for data professional. Sorry, once again, the slide was not supposed to look like this. Anyway, I'll share the slide with you, but this is the growing demand for data professional. So prior to now, there's like I said, there's time and season. There's time and season. But if we realize, if we're looking at statistics, you would realize that from 2018 to this moment, the trend has been data, right? Data mining, big data, machine learning, data analytics, everything related to data. That has been the trend for a long time. I know around 2012 to 2015, it was cybersecurity. So cybersecurity, everybody wanted to become a cybersecurity. It was the trend in the tech space, cybersecurity. And at that point, I was at that point where I actually wanted to, go for that course, cybersecurity, because it was a trend. Everybody wanted to become a security. It was a major thing then, right? But I had a focus and I had to stick to that. But what I'm trying to say is that the data space, the growing demand for data professional is on the rise. So I want to put this out there. Don't be scared. Don't feel that everybody wants to become a data analyst, a data scientist, and you tell yourself that, oh, everybody wants to become a data professional. I'm not going to do this. Don't be scared that this field is going to be oversaturated. It's not going to be. The reason why is because there's more opportunities. Okay, look at with the advent of artificial intelligence, it is actually creating more job opportunity. It is actually creating more career. So there's going to be high demand for data professional. So don't be scared of, oh, it's going to be oversaturated. Everybody wants to become this. You will go on LinkedIn and all your feed is data. And you're like, what's happening? Everybody wants to become this. No, this feed is going to keep growing. As long as we keep using technology, as long as we keep we're sending and we're receiving data, there's always going to be opportunities. AI is going to bring opportunities. And this is going to be, how would I put it? Okay, this can be argued when people say AI is going to take away jobs. I'm not going to dwell into that because that's a debate, right? So I'm not going to dwell into that. But one thing I want you to understand is that AI is going to create job opportunities, a lot of job opportunities. Before now, there was nothing like MLOps, that's machine learning operations. There was nothing like that before now, right? There was nothing like machine learning engineer or machine learning engineering. There was nothing like that. It has always been either statistics. Statisticians are actually the data scientists, right? So they've been so much. There've been a lot of career. There've been a lot of career generation, and it's going to continue. It's going to be continued. So if you know deep down that this is your passion and this is what you're interested in, please don't let little things like this scare you, right? Don't let things like this scare you. Just try as much as possible to see how you can build yourself in this career space and grow, because the demand for data professional is on the high side. Now let's look at some statistics. Now, if you go online, if you go on Google, there's a lot of statistics to back up this claim, right? But just look at this. So according to the US labor statistics, the employment for data scientists projected to grow by 31%. By 31% between 2019 and 2029, which is above the average for all occupation. Now, the data scientist is not the only occupation. We have a lot. We have more than 1,000 occupations. Now, just imagine the data space. Data space is collecting a whooping sum of 31%. Do you know what that means? One person collecting 31%, that's a lot. That's a lot, right? So that's the projection. So tell me why you shouldn't grow in this field, right? Another report by IBM predicts that the demand for data scientists will increase by 28% by 2020. This is a past one, but I had to put this here because we've seen this, right? The demand, the reason why you and we are here today is because we've seen the demand for data professionals, right? So the prediction was true, right? We've seen the demand. That's why you and we are here today, because we really want to pursue this field. Another research by Lindy listed data science as the second fastest growing job in the United States. As the fastest growing job in the United States. And the other one is estimated by 2025, the demand for professionals skilled in data analysis could exceed the supply by 50 to 60%. Now, let me explain this. What this means is that the demand for data professional and the population of data professionals we have does not correlate, meaning that there will be more demand for data professionals by 2020. Between now, it is estimated that by 2025, right, there will be more demand for data professionals. So, which means that we don't even have as much people in the data space as as we need, because the demand is going to be high, but we don't even have the people there, right? So that's why you really need to, if you know deep down this is where your passion lies, you really need to take this serious, because the truth is that some countries and most companies, they are becoming to see the need, why they need to employ data professionals. So it's going to be, wherever you're residing in, it's going to look like a slow progress. But trust me, in the coming years, the demand for data professionals is going to keep increasing. It's going to keep increasing. Most companies, they are trying the transformative change. Most companies, they are trying to see how they can incorporate, bring data team into their business. They are trying to see ways how they can improve the company, right, through data. So it's a field that is going to keep growing. It's a field that is going to keep growing. Now, let's talk about the skills for success. Now, you've seen that, okay, this space or this field, right, it's going to be a growing field for a very long time, which means that your skills is going to be in demand. But then, what do you really need to succeed in this space? First of all, statistical knowledge. Yeah, statistics. This is not a debate, and this is not something you can run away from. You actually need to be competent in your statistical analysis, or you really need to be competent with statistical knowledge. You need to understand it, because the truth is that I know I've already posted this a lot on my LinkedIn, but the truth about this field is that it is all about statistics, right? Like I said, the data scientists we have now, they were once statisticians, right? Statistics is the umbrella of everything we are doing today. So you cannot become a competent data analyst, a data scientist, without understanding the concept of without understanding the concept of statistics. So you really need to have deep knowledge on what statistics mean. That should be your priority before thinking of, programming languages, because you cannot start cooking without reading through the recipe, right? You need to understand the recipe in order to start cooking that particular meal, which means that you need to understand statistics. You need to understand, at least have a knowledge of statistics before going deeper into this field. So start with statistics, get some concept like hypothesis, population, sample, inference, regression. These are some topics you usually need to understand, right? Then you can go into your programming, learn programming, Python especially. Now you might be asking, between Python and R language, which should you learn? Now I would say this depends on the company, right? But if I'm to advise anyone, I would tell you that please learn Python, because Python is the general programming language for data scientists or data analysts. So if you are to choose one, learn Python first, then you can learn R language as a backup, right? Now, there's some companies that definitely use R, right? But if you want to learn one first, that should be Python, right? Then SQL, very important. You need to understand that. Then data visualization, your Tableau, your Power BI. Now, Python as well have their libraries for data visualization, which is Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly. So you should be able to understand the libraries, right? So when I say Python, please understand that Python, you're also learning Python, you're learning Python, you're also learning the libraries, right? You are learning Python libraries and frameworks, which include Pandas, NumPy, right? Then you're also learning the visualization, the library. So you're learning all the components, right? Then your visualization, then machine learning algorithms and framework. So if you want to become a data scientist, then you should understand machine learning, how machine learning works. You should understand machine learning algorithms, classification, regression, the types of machine learning tasks, supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement learning, then the different types of algorithm for each of these machine learning tasks. You should understand that. Then you should also understand machine learning framework, which is scikit-learn, TensorFlow. Scikit-learn is like the library where you can use in building your machine learning model, performing cross-validation, performing your evaluation. TensorFlow is mostly for deep learning, right? It's the library you use for deep learning. Then most importantly, communication and collaboration. Now, let me tell you something. Most companies, right, they prioritize communication, collaboration, cultural fits to technical skills. So if your technical skills is taking 20%, communication, collaboration, cultural fit is taking 80%. That's to tell you how companies prioritize these C's, right? So in as much as you're good with your technical skills, try as much as possible not to leave out collaboration, communication, and cultural fit. Now, cultural fit is how well you can adapt to an environment, right? How well you can communicate with your colleagues and all of that, very important. When I was interviewing for a job, right, I did the technical test, I did all of that, right? But when it came to the behavioral questions, the cultural fit questions and all of that, it was about 1 hour 45 minutes, like 2 hours. It's actually, yeah, it spans to 2 hours. That's how serious they are. Because if you're good with your technical skills, you can do that, or fine, yes, you're a valuable person in that organization. But if you're not able to communicate with stakeholders, if you're not able to communicate with your colleagues, if you are not able to collaborate, because the data space is all about collaboration. As a data analyst, you'll be collaborating with data scientists, you'll be collaborating with machine learning engineers, you'll be collaborating with data engineers, you'll be collaborating with your products, with the product managers. You'll be collaborating with which other team in the data space. You'll be collaborating with the stakeholders. So there's a lot of people you'll be collaborating with. So if you don't have good collaboration skills, then it's nothing for the organization. So it's very important. Then the last thing is domain expertise. So if you already know where you want to belong in the data space, it's fine, right? So for some persons that studying medicine in school, they want to switch into tech. Yes, it's actually good to focus on utilizing your tech skills or that data skills into the medical field, right? Or if you studied accounting, you could think of using that in the financial institute. You studied accounting, you're switching to tech. You can see how you can use that in the financial institute, right? So that's more of domain knowledge. But if you're open, you don't have restriction to any specific industry, then just be open and learn about how to utilize the skills you've gained into this industry. And most importantly is that most companies really don't I don't have statistics to back this up, but based on my experience, most companies actually take domain knowledge as secondary, right? So I don't have insurance knowledge. I don't insurance, financial. I really don't. That is not my forte, right? But joining the institute, joining this company, I'm building on my domain knowledge. Gradually, I'm trying to understand some of the terms, some of the terminologies being used in the industry space, right? I'm understanding it. So most companies, they really want to see your skills and your soft skills. Domain knowledge is something you can learn in the business. domain knowledge is something you can learn. There are other companies that, may dwell so much on domain knowledge, and most industries are, the medical industry. So definitely, if you've not been in the medical space, probably you didn't study microbiology, biochemistry, or all those medical courses, right? Medical or science courses, and you're switching to tech and you want to go into that field, yes, you really need to gain that domain knowledge, because the way you analyze data sets for industries, financial industries, software industries, is different from how you analyze data set that has to do with it's different from how you analyze medical data sets, right? So the way you will analyze your normal data is different from medical data sets, right? So if you want to go into that field, you really need to gain that domain knowledge. You really need to understand it very, very well. So you see why I said domain knowledge can be, it can be debatable, right? So let's just put that at the back of our mind. Then also, getting started, right? Now we've gone through the growing demand. You understand the value you're adding to the society as a data professional. You can see that the growing demand is it keeps rising. So it can never be oversaturated. Maybe when it's become oversaturated, fine, we can talk about that. But for now, it keeps growing. The demand for data professional is increasing day by day. Now you understand the skills you need to excel in this field. Now, how do you get started? What are the things you need to do? If you're new to this field, what do you need to start? What do you need to do, or start with? You can start with online courses. Two things here. If you're thinking of going to school, like if you are yet to get your degree, right? I would advise, if you're yet to get your degree and you have the financial means to do so, please do. I don't like bringing this topic up, but I'm going to bring this. If you have the means to go to school, please do so. But note that this field does not actually require you to get a degree. It does not require you to get a degree in this field, right? That's the good thing about tech. You can get online courses and all of that. But if you're in a situation where you have the means to go to school and get a degree in any, if it's data science, computer science, software engineering, any tech course, right? Please do so and get a degree. But if finance is a problem, there's online courses you can do, right? So you have a Udemy, you have Coursera, you also have professional network. So you can utilize LinkedIn. There's LinkedIn Learning. There's GitHub. You can use GitHub to learn, right? There are some accounts that they've already created, roadmap, and there's a lot of information. There's data set there. There's projects, there's code where you can learn from. Personal projects, building your portfolio, you are using real world data sets to, you're capitalizing on real world data sets for your projects, right? And another thing with Oduma Tech is that they have a course, Ayomide, right? The course is starting when? I think she must have communicated that with you. There's a course. So if you can utilize this, it's going to also help you. So if you are, you're thinking of, becoming a valuable data professional, make use of these opportunities. There's a course going on with, I've checked the curriculum, it's a good one. So you can contact Ayomide, go through the curriculum, look at it, and, check for their courses, contact them to see the courses they have, and, capitalize on this. It will help you. There are other courses as well you can do. Build your portfolio, very important. Please, if you're a data professional, if you're a data analyst, try and build a website with your portfolio. If you're a data scientist, try and create a GitHub account. I'm going to repeat this again. If you're a data scientist, create a GitHub account with your portfolios. With your portfolio, I mean. If you're a data analyst, try and build your portfolio. So it could be a website, or you could have both. But for a data scientist, very, very important. Please you must have a GitHub account. Then let's talk about challenges when applying for jobs. So now these challenges you face is both professional challenges and personal challenges, right? So let's go through this. So one of the challenges you're going to face is imposter syndrome, where you'll be feeling like if what you're actually doing, if you're doing it in the right way, right? So you're feeling like a fraud, like, am I supposed to be doing this? Have I really gained so much? Am I supposed to be talking on this particular topic? Am I supposed to be applying for this job? You're feeling like you've not gotten there, which is common. It happens, right? Any data professional or any professional you know, if you ask them, they will tell you that at some point in their life they've actually faced this imposter syndrome, right? Another thing is waiting to be an expert. So one challenge you might be facing is, you are waiting to become an expert, to become an expertise in this field before applying for job, which is not so, right? One thing I usually say is that you would always learn in the job, no matter how good you are. When you get a job, you would learn on that job. You would learn. So if you feel that you want to become an expert before you start applying for a job, you are going to miss a lot of opportunities. You would always learn. You would always learn in job. Every career or every industry, every job I've changed, there's always something that I need to learn. There's always a period for onboarding, right? And during that period, you are learning something new, right? You are learning something new. And the thing is that when you start working, you are going to grow. And that's where you would even learn more, because you are not just learning, you are utilizing those skills. You are putting it into practice, right? And the thing is that what you use every day, it sticks faster. If I open a book, or if I say, okay, I want to learn Python, yes, I've completed the course. If I don't use it, after a few months, it's going to slip away. I won't even remember. That's why I say, when you get a job, you will learn on the job, and it's going to stick. It's going to help you grow. So please don't miss any opportunity. Once you feel that you are not confident, right? You've learned the basic. You understand when to use a particular tool for a particular use case. If you know that, okay, I need SQL, I can you know that, okay, SQL is used for this, Python is used for this, Pandas is used for this. You already understand when to utilize these particular skills for a certain use case. Then please start applying for a job. Don't wait, please. Then self-doubt is another thing. Questioning your ability or second guessing your decision. Fear of rejection. This happens a lot, right? So you've applied for a lot of jobs, and every second, every email you get is sorry, we won't be moving forward, sorry, and you are scared. It happens, right? It has happened to me. That I was scared, rejection, left and right rejection. And it gets to a certain point where you feel careless, like, I'm not going to apply anymore. What's there? It's going to be another rejection, right? It's going to be another rejection. What's the need? But please, it happens. But I will tell you that don't be discouraged, because all you need is just that one job that will tell you, thank you and welcome to the company. We are going to be moving forward with your application. All you need is one job that will tell you yes. So no matter the number of rejections you're having, please don't feel discouraged. And the truth is that sometimes this does not have to do with you. You get, so I've spoken to recruiters, right? And for a job opening, they might tell you that the hiring manager for that job might tell the recruiter that, okay, we want just 5 people to fill this position. Now, when this recruiter puts this job adverts there, they are getting thousands of applications. They are getting hundreds of applications. Now tell me, who has the time to go through hundreds of applications? So sometimes what these recruiters do, they do random selects, right? They just randomly select. If they are looking for 5 people, they randomly select 10 or 15. So it could be that the recruiter might not even touch or see your CV at all, and the next thing you get is a rejection email. You'll be feeling that, oh, maybe your CV was this, or maybe your skills was not this. No, it's just a general template they send, right? So that's what I'm telling you, that don't feel discouraged, because it's a general template they usually send, right? I spoke to a recruiter one day where the recruiter said, the truth is that they didn't even come across my application. I was like, you didn't come across my application, and I'm receiving a rejection later. So that's it. They only they either use a system to filter, and this system are not really per se, like they are not really there, right? They are not really there. So they just do random select, and they take this CV to the hiring manager. The hiring manager looks at it and, just do what they need to do from there. So that's why I keep hammering on this. Don't feel discouraged. Keep applying and keep pushing. Another thing is lack of networking. This is a challenge that can hinder you. So please try and network. LinkedIn is the largest and fast growing social platform where you can connect with people, where you can connect with professionals, right? People you might not see in your, you might never come in contact with, but with the help of LinkedIn, you are able to communicate and network with these people. So try and network, right? I know of some people that have gotten jobs through networking, right? They send a DM to, recruiters, to hiring managers, to even a staff or colleague working in a particular company where they're interested in. And this staff or colleague, they are able to, reference them, which is very important as well, referencing, right? So this colleague is able to reference them for any job opportunity. So people get jobs through that means, even through attending conferences, attending seminars is another way of, getting jobs, right? So please, you need to level up in your networking skills. Please level up. And the truth is that in the tech space, you have to level up, right? You need to be very good with your networking skills. You need to improve your networking skills, right? Another thing is comparing yourself with others. This is normal, right? You come on LinkedIn, your social space, or even your day-to-day life, right? You're seeing someone and you're comparing them. You're going through their LinkedIn profiles and you're seeing the skills, you're seeing the certifications. They've done like 10, 20 certifications. Now these things does not matter in your pursuit or in your journey, right? It does not matter in your pursuit or in your journey. Some person might have done 20 or 10 certifications, right? But if they bring both of you to challenge your intellect, you realize that you even know so much. You even know so much. There are some people that do certification courses just because they want to do it. Some people are so concerned with the certification to what they would, to what they will get. Some persons are not concerned about the skills. They just want to have that certification, right? They just want to have it. So yes, it's a certification. It's going to give you an upper grade. It's going to put you there, right? It's going to open opportunities for you. But if you don't have the skills to defend, or if you don't know, you don't have that intellect to defend that certification, then it's useless. So this is the reason why you shouldn't compare yourself. Everybody's journey is different. Your journey is different. Your journey is unique. So you shouldn't compare your journey with someone else. You shouldn't do so. You shouldn't, please. Another thing is perfection. Perfection. If you're a perfect, there's some people that they just, when they want to, when you say perfect, they just like that term perfect. They want to be perfect in everything, and being too perfect delays your opportunity. It delays your opportunity. So when I was transitioning, right, from my software engineer, when I was transitioning to the data space, I did self-learning for a few months, right? I already understood what to do, when to use some certain tools, but deep down, I knew that I needed to learn more. I was not there. I knew, yes, see, I really don't, I'm not really confident, like, oh, I'm so confident. I really, that expertise, it's not there. But I still took the challenge. And applying for that job, getting that job actually helped me because I learned, I was able to learn faster, right? Because I'm using these tools now, I'm implementing it. So it actually helped me in learning faster, right? So that the perfection, waiting to be perfect, the fear of imperfection is going to delay you. It's going to delay your application. It's going to delay everything. So please, 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 don't wait to be perfect before putting out your application out there. But then overcoming these challenges, I've already touched on them. Number one, you don't have to be an expert to apply for a job. You don't have to wait. I've already talked on this. Don't need to go too much on it. Then your unique perspective and skills are valuable, right? So don't think that you don't think that what you know or what you have is not valuable. It will surprise you that when you talk or when you give your opinion about something, you realize that, wow, so my opinion really matters. So don't undermine your skills, don't undermine your perspective. It's needed, right? It's valuable, right? Another thing is networking and building connection can lead to job opportunities, which I've already discussed on. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your growth, your own journey. Embrace imperfection and open to learning. You have to be open to learn and open to growth. I always say this, be open to unlearn some things in order to relearn. There are some things I've learned in the past that I had to unlearn in order to relearn, because you will feel that you've learned so much, right? It happens. There's a certain point in your life where you feel that, oh, I know it now. I know so much. Oh, I'm an expert, right? And you start feeling so proud. No, in this field, in this tech space, there's nothing like pride. There's nothing like pride. If you start feeling too proud, you will close your eyes, open it, and you realize that you are still behind. You don't, that there's nothing like pride or being proud in this space. No. So you should be open to growth. You should be open to learning. Even as a professional, I listen to aspiring data analysts and data scientists because I feel there's always something to learn, right? There's always something to learn. There's always a new skill. There's always a new tech popping up every day. You sleep and wake up and there's one terminology, one tech, one Terraform. You wake up, there's one tool there. You wake up, there's another deving. I think there's a new career path called deving now, right? So we have DevOps. There's another one called deving. Deving is a new career path that just came up which day, and before you know, a few years time, even in a few months, there's going to be a large adaptation into the industry for that. So there's always something new. So you should be open to learning and growth. Then take the first step and start applying for job. The first step is to start applying for job. Leave your worries behind, right? Leave your worries behind, shut it down. Start applying for job. It doesn't matter. Now, there are some jobs you'll see, they will put senior data scientists, senior data analysts. They will put some, top level. Apply regardless. Because the truth is that these recruiters, they don't even know it. Now, don't be scared of recruiters, right? So when you apply for a job and recruiters, they call you, asking you questions, they don't know it. They don't. So these recruiters, what they do is, they jot down some of the words they want to hear, right? So these recruiters, they don't know anything regarding data or technology or that. They just know that the hiring manager must have given them that, okay, these are some of the keywords, so that when you're conversing with this prospective client or prospective job seeker, at least if they say or if they mention 2 words out of this list of words, then they know what they are doing. So when the recruiter calls you that, yeah, there's a job opening, can you tell me about your previous experience, or can you tell me about your skill? Oh, on your CV, I can see Python. Can you tell me what you've used Python for? Now, when you start using some keywords, they are jotting it down. Right, so you say, okay, so I use Python for data analysis, I use Python, and I also use Pandas library. Now they are going through the keywords. Oh, okay, there's data analysis. Okay, so she knows what she's saying, right? Oh, okay, I use Python for building machine learning models, regression model. They are looking at their keywords, so they are marking it. So that's why you shouldn't be scared of recruiters. When they call you, don't feel scared, don't be anxious. Oh my, no, they don't even know. So you are the one schooling them, right? So don't be scared of that. Another thing is that when you get to the stage, when you've passed that recruitment, the first stage, which is usually speaking to the recruiter, and now you are onto the second stage where you're speaking to the hiring manager, you are the one in charge, right? Yes, it's normal to feel anxious. It's normal to feel anxious, but always see it as an opportunity. Always see it as an opportunity. While I was in school, I wasn't ready at that point to get a job, but I was applying for jobs. Not that I needed a job at that point, but I was applying for jobs just to gain experience on how the job process works. So while you are currently in your self-learning journey, apply for jobs. Even though you don't need them, it's a way of you learning about the flow and the process, right? So when you apply, they call you for an interview, you understand that, okay, the first stage is talking to the recruiter, the second stage is with the hiring manager, the third stage is probably doing an hackathon test or leaked code or any of. Okay, the third stage is a scenario-based question where they ask you behavioral questions. The third stage is technical interview. You have experience so that when you are not out of the or when you are not done and you are not ready for a job, it won't come as a surprise, because you already have this experience. Another thing about the job is gaining confidence, right? So if you are waiting to be perfect, that's why I also said you don't have to wait to be perfect, because if you're waiting to be perfect before you start applying for jobs, at that point in time you're already feeling so anxious, because what you want at that point in time is to get a job, right? So you're already feeling anxious, and these recruiters or hiring manager, they can tell that you're lacking confidence. Yeah, they can tell. So applying for job early is just see it as a means of you learning how the process works, so that when you're ready, you feel more confident, right? You're feeling more confident in answering their question. When they're asking you, you're answering their question. When they ask you a question you don't know, don't act like you know it, because things like that can actually, it's like a red flag. So if they ask you a question that will tell us a time where you've used this particular tool, and if you've not used that particular tool, don't say okay, no, just be upfront and say, okay, so I've not used this particular tool, but I'm open to learning. I learn fast, conversant with some of these tools. I'm open to learning, and I believe that with time I'll be able to learn. You are giving a positive response. So don't act like you know it. Okay, no, you would fumble, and they will know that you don't know. So it's good to be to be outright and telling that I don't know it, but I'm open to learning. I'm open to learning this particular. So you could also come that, okay, I don't know this. I don't know about. I've not used R, but I've used Python, and during the process of using Python, I've used Python for this and that and that. So you've already told them that, see, I don't use R language, but I've used Python in a similar process, in a similar task. Right? So that's something you should know, because it's a red flag when you don't know a particular question being thrown at you and you're acting like you know it. It's a red flag. Because during the early stage of my career, I fumbled, right? Where they asked me a question, right? I knew the question, not that I didn't know it, I knew it, but at that point I was so anxious that I forgot about it. It was a very, very simple question. Very simple question, which I knew, but I forgot. And I was fumbling like I knew it, and the hiring manager told me, just say you don't know it. It's okay. Just say you don't know it. But I knew it. Now it's a different case if you don't know it, right? But I knew it, but I just forgot at that point in time, right? So that's why I say sometimes it's better to just be to be outright with them that, okay, this question I know it, but at this point in time, well, I know it, but right now I don't seem to recollect, right? I don't seem to recollect, but then I've used this, and I know if I can probably just go back. You can chip in some little jokes, and if I can go back, definitely it's going to come in. I'm going to, if I can, if I go back to, well, if I can go back to my note, definitely I know it, but at this point in time, I can't really recollect. It's fine, right? So these are some of the tips and tricks on handling some of these um job interviews and that. So not to waste your time, so that I can give room for Q&A. But in summary, the tech space actually offers exciting opportunities for data scientists, data engineers, data analysts, machine learning engineers, machine learning operation engineers to make a meaningful impact, right? So embrace challenges, develop the necessary skills required, and stay curious, because curiosity is what will help you strive in this dynamic field, right? So I hope my talk has been able to throw more light, and has been able to open your eyes to the opportunities and what you need to do in order to stay relevant. So thank you. Then I think I will open the room for Q&A.
Thank you, Favour. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So before we start taking questions, I hope we all learned a thing or two this evening. I would like if we can start dropping our questions in the chat box for Favour. Yeah, so yeah, Shindara, Onyi will take the questions, but briefly, I would like to share more on what you said about our cohorts before we start taking questions, so we can move from there. Yeah, so I will be sharing my screen now. I hope you can all see my screen. Okay, so our next cohort, okay, thank you. Our next cohort is slated to start on the 8th of June. Yes, and registration is currently going on. So our courses, the courses we currently take are data science, data analytics, web development front-end, then web development front-end for teens. Yeah, these are the courses we currently take, and we offer a variable of benefits when you learn with us. So firstly, we offer a global certificate. Like I mentioned earlier, our company is a UK registered company. So we offer you a UK certified certificate. Yeah, and when you mentioned portfolio earlier, if I'm not mistaken, Favour, yes, we help our students in building their portfolio as they go, because we offer a 3-month work experience on their CV from working with experts in the various industry that they're learning. Data scientists, we have mentors that will mentor them throughout the course of the course. Our course goes on for a duration of 4 months, which is 16 weeks during the weekend. Yeah, we'll talk more on that. So yes, we also assigned recruiters who help them in revamping their CV and portfolio. Like I mentioned earlier, portfolio building, and also, revamping CV. Your CV has to stand out. You can't use the same CV for every job application. And LinkedIn, optimizing your LinkedIn will make you more visible for opportunities. So we help with LinkedIn revamping and building of portfolios and CV. We also offer career guide till you land your first job. We hold frequent career clinics. If some of our current students who are participating in the ongoing cohorts can testify to this, we hold weekly career clinics where we have a career coach who will help in giving you the knowledge about the tech space, how you apply for jobs, how you go about everything. So we don't just teach you and throw you to the wild. No, we give you support till you land your first job. Yeah, and you also get reference. Let's say you want to apply for a job now and you need reference from someone in the industry. We offer you reference to send that to your workplace, your new, and let's say hopefully a new workplace for you. So these are the things we offer. Benefits. We offer so many benefits once you register with us. Like I said, we have a cohort beginning 8th of June because we will currently have one running right now, which will be ending by May. Yeah, sometime in May. That, yes, we'll be ending that. Then we'll be starting another by 8th of June. To register our website, you can check more information on your courses on our website. For the curriculum, you can see that on our website at www.udmaritech.com. And the good news is, if you are willing to, after you've checked, go on our website and check our courses, our curriculum, and you're happy with what you see, and you're willing to register today, we have a discount for duration of 24 hours between today and tomorrow, which is our courses are going for 150,000 naira. But if you'll be registering between today and tomorrow, then I would paste a coupon code, like a link for you in the chat box where you get
everyone again. I and Favour actually went to the same BSc level school. I knew she started at software engineer, so I was very excited to see on her LinkedIn that she posted something about data analytics. So I didn't know she had done the transition, but I decided to join anyway so that I could also learn some things. I've been teaching data analytics for about 6 years. So my question is, all right, before I say that, so good job, Favour. I really enjoyed spending some time here, and thanks to Udumari Tech. So the question is, now, just like you said, there's a buzzword going on year after year. So we hear things like large language models, and that's like a keyword that goes on for any new AI chatbot thing that comes up. They're always doing this benchmark comparison based on how many large language models that a particular software can produce. And in layman terms, I just wanted to say, like, okay, whenever we hear such word like LMM, like, what are we supposed to think about as, let's say, people just starting up in data analytics? When we hear such word, what are we supposed to think about? Or how can you sort of break it down into something we can relate to so that we can be like, oh yeah, we know what's up?
Okay, so in simple terms, when you hear large language model, just see it as natural language processing. Just like in machine learning, where where you have to analyze, build machine learning algorithm with numerical data sets, right? Then if it's a categorical data set, all you need to do is to convert. Now note that machines only understand binary code, which is 0 and 1. They don't understand text. They don't understand A, B, and C. What they understand is numbers, right? So when you're building a machine learning model, or you're performing anything, you're trying to create an AI system, you are converting. Now, if your data set is not in a numerical format, if it's in text-based, you have to convert it into binary code, 0s and 1s, or convert it into numbers that the system can understand, right? So that is it with the system understanding. Now, when you hear large language model, in simple terms, just understand that, okay, this is natural language processing, which is NLP, natural language processing. Natural language processing, right, is the art of analyzing, performing analysis based on text, right? And Python already has a tool called the Natural Language Toolkit that you can use to perform this analysis on text-based. So that's where you see you're performing analysis on customers' feedback, right? You're trying to use feedback, even Twitter, using Twitter comments, analyzing insights based on Twitter comments. Even during the election, I had one of my mentees that did, during the election, what he did was to collect data sets, pass data sets from Twitter account from Twitter, right? So, and use that, performed an analysis and use that analysis to compare to predict which presidential candidate is going to win the election. And based on this analysis, it predicted that it was going to the person that is going to win the election was Tinubu, and that was months before the election. And surprisingly, it was Tinubu that won the election, right? So that is natural language processing. But now, when you hear large language processing, now you are utilizing the process for natural language processing for large language. So large language is the ability for a system to be able to understand and accommodate large base text. That's just a simple term, right? So it's just like ChatGPT. Anything you put on ChatGPT, any prompt you put in there, it's able to generate something for you, right? So there's large language. There are also generative AI, which could be image, or it could also be what's it called? I think I've even started with music, but definitely image. So it's the ability for the system to accommodate all of that. Now, the truth is that yes, it's a buzzword, and we are still in the process of trying to, because there's a challenge. There are a lot of challenges with large language model processing or language model, just like what's it called? Isolation. Sorry, why am I not pronouncing this word correctly? But it's trying to mimic or predict something that is not there, right? So that's some of the challenges with large language model. That's why most companies are not really fully adopting it, right? Because there's still a lot of experimentation, there's still a benchmark, there's still a lot of things, there's the RAG, there's a lot of things going on there. And if you realize, even ChatGPT that we use today is not perfect. It's not perfect. You can input some things, or you can write a prompt on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is going to give you a wrong response. I think I asked ChatGPT for statistics on a particular so I think I was doing a research, and I asked ChatGPT for statistics regarding something. I think during the COVID, which of the online learning platform, e-learning platform was performing well. And ChatGPT gave me a response, right? It was a good response. But when I went online, I realized that it was a fake, and was like cooked up story. So if you're relying heavily on ChatGPT for your research, then you're making an error. ChatGPT is still in the process of ChatGPT is not smart yet, right? That's also why I said there's more opportunities, and there's a lot of work that needs to go on in the large language model space. But anytime you hear of large language model, just see it as natural language processing, right? So that's in simple terms.
All right, thanks.
Your question.
Thank you very much. I had another question, sorry, before the next person. So in the presentation, you mentioned one of the programming languages you can learn for data analytics is Python and R, which you can interchangeably, and you also advised us to use Python, but you didn't mention anything about SQL, which I know is also one of the major programming language when it comes to that. But can you just throw, maybe because you were like trying to just get as much as you can, but can you just quickly throw more light on SQL so that maybe some of us can also learn, see if maybe we are more inclined to SQL than the programming languages like Python and R? That's the last question. Thanks.
Okay, during my presentation, SQL was there. So I said Python, R, and SQL. And the reason why I did emphasize on SQL is because I don't actually see SQL. Now, for programming language, I usually classify SQL as a programming language, but in the real world, SQL is not actually a programming language. It is a query language, not a programming language. But I usually, and most people also, try and they put SQL as part of the programming language to learn. It's just a way of trying to encapsulate everything in one. But SQL is not a programming language, so that's a brief term. So whenever you're doing your interview, please, it is not a programming language. It is a query language, right? SQL. And so like I said, the most important thing for data analysts Python, R language, and SQL. For data scientists, Python is most important, right? Now, SQL, we use SQL, but not heavily. The only time we have to use SQL is probably when we've gotten the extracts or we've gotten the data sets from the data engineers, and we actually on our own end, we want to see how we can make use of some other data sets, or maybe we've tried to create an enrichment, or we've tried to create like a new data set, like it's what they call data engineering, future engineering, right? So we've created new features from the already data sets we have, right? So in that case, we would have to use SQL to join, to query some columns and all of that. But data scientists, now I don't know for other companies, right? I don't know for other companies, because other companies, as a data scientist, you're also performing the work of a data analyst. So yes, you'll be using SQL a lot. But if it's a company that is strictly going with the name and the job, if you're a data scientist, you are absolutely doing the job of a data scientist. SQL is not something you'll be using so heavily. You are going to be using it. Please, you should learn SQL, but it's not something that you'll be using as much as a data analyst. Now, if you're a data analyst, you need to learn SQL. Like SQL is your forte, it's something that you need to understand, right? SQL, you need to understand that, and Python, right? Now, for R language, I know R language, but the last time I used R language was about 5 years ago. That was the last time I used R language, because R language has there's learning curve, and there's a lot of things, right? And most organizations, they tend to use Python more, because Python has a lot of frameworks. Python has a lot of libraries, right? They have a lot of libraries and framework compared to R. So R is mostly for when you want to perform some deep statistical analysis, right? Then you can use R, but Python is the most important thing. Then, like I said, just to go back, if you're a data analyst, a data engineer, SQL, please, you really, really need to understand SQL very, very deeply. Then Python. If you're a data scientist, Python, very, very, very compulsory. Then SQL, right? So I hope that answers your question. Then we have Emmanuel, that's all right. Okay, then caller, your hands are up.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for the exciting session.
Thank you.
So I have two questions actually. The first one is, now we've been hearing about data analysts, data scientists, machine learning engineers, and the rest. So mine is about data analysts and data scientists. So for someone that is just getting into the field, should the person start with data analytics first before doing data science, or someone that wants to become a data scientist can just start with data science from the get-go without even doing data analytics first? So I don't know if I can ask the second question now, or I should wait for you to reply this.
Okay, so let me just answer this one. Now, if you're just entering into the field, right? Okay, so if you're just entering into the field, if you don't have any knowledge, proud to know, if you don't have any knowledge regarding the tech space, you are new into it, you are coming from a totally different career path, then I will tell you to venture into becoming a data analyst, right? Sorry, hold on. Okay, so I'll tell you to venture into becoming a data analyst, right? Because becoming a data analyst is more like an entering point and going deeper into the career, into other different career paths. So I will advise you to start with, becoming a data analyst. But if you know deep down that you're ready for the task and you're ready to discipline yourself, right? You're ready to learn, to stay focused, then you can start with the data science, right? So data science is more complex. That's just the truth. It's more complex. There's a lot of things you have to learn. You have to learn statistics. You have to understand some mathematical terms. You have to understand a lot of things. The roadmap is quite broad, right? It's quite broad. So if you're new, you're coming from a different career path, start with data analysis, then you can start moving and progressing into other parts you want. But if you're coming from a science background like computer science or software engineering, right, you already have knowledge and understanding about the tech space, and you already understand some terms, data science, then it's fine. You can go into data science. But otherwise, then I would advise you to start with becoming a data analyst. Then what? I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that answers it. Thank you. Okay, the next one is for data scientists and machine learning engineers, actually. So for that is about developing models. So when the data scientists develop models, so is it ethically right for the data scientists to deploy the models, or it is the work of the machine learning engineer and solely the work of the machine learning engineer to deploy those models?
Okay, so data scientists are machine learning engineers. Like I said, it depends on the company you're working with, right? So some big enterprises and big companies, right, like Amazon, Google, the IBM and big companies, they are big, where they are long-term, big structured companies. So definitely they already have the capacity for different teams, right? It's a big company, so they can have data analysts, they have their data scientists, machine learning engineer, ML ops, like that. But for small or mid-sized company, the data scientists perform the work of a data and machine learning engineer. Some other companies, data scientists would also do the work of a data analyst, a machine learning engineer, a data engineer, right? So that's why I said these terms are used interchangeably. But if we're assuming that it's a large enterprise, right? So does the data scientist or the data scientist have the right to deploy the model? Now, the machine learning engineer, they are the ones in charge of deploying this model, right? So what the data scientists do is to build the machine learning model, convert it into modular code, and then pass it over to the machine learning engineer to put this model into production, right? Now, there's still another term or a career called machine learning operations engineer, right? So I am a data scientist and also a machine learning operation engineer. So what I do, I'm performing an end-to-end. So if you've heard of anything called full stack data scientist, that's what I am, right? So a full stack data scientist, you are building the machine learning model and you are also putting these models into production, right? But in order to understand the terms, data scientists build the model. Machine learning engineer or machine learning operation engineers, they are the ones in charge of deploying the model. But the thing is that they work hand in hand. There's always a collaboration between both of these career paths or these people, right? There's a collaboration, a very strong collaboration amongst them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that answers it. I just have something else to say to you. I just one more thing. I check the chat box now. I can see some questions there that have not been answered. Thanks.
Okay.
Yes, I would read out those questions. Thank you very much for your observation. All right, so Ajay Kende Adebayo is asking that as an enthusiast data analyst that has not been able to land any job, what can he do to build his portfolio? How can he build his portfolio?
Okay, so you don't need to land a job before you build your portfolio. You're actually supposed to build your portfolio while in the process of securing a job, right? So if you've gone through whatsoever miss, if you're probably taking online courses or you're in school or wherever you are in your journey, you're supposed to be building your portfolio based on what you're learning, right? So you don't need to land a job. If I'm getting you correctly, you can, otherwise you can state it in the chat. But if you're actually waiting from your question, it seems as though you need to wait. You're asking if you should wait before wait to get a job before building your portfolio. But no, you don't have to. You're actually supposed to use your portfolio as an evidence or as an experience in landing a job. So if you don't have like if you've not gained an experience or you've not worked in an industry, tech space or in the data space or industry, your portfolio is supposed to be an experience for you, so that when the recruiter is, okay, tell us what have you done, what project have you worked on, what have you done, you can use your portfolio and say, I've performed this analysis on 1 million data set. I did this. This was my analysis. This was the result. This was how I did it. This was the tools I used in this and that. So you're actually supposed to create your portfolio while in the process of securing your job.
All right, thank you, Ma. I hope that answers his question. All right, before I read the question from Alabari Daisy, I want to quickly answer Obina's question where he asked that what's the guarantee that the team is going to cover the content in the curriculum? Well, like Ayomide said, we have about 16 weeks, that's 4 months, and you would agree with me that that is quite enough time to cover what is in the curriculum. And at Udumari Tech, we we actually work towards fulfilling our promises. And I would really like if you would go to our page that's to check out what the curriculum is about and see for yourself, and subscribe to our mailing list, because that's one of the places where people get first-hand information as regards what we do at Udumari Tech. So Obin, I hope that answers your question. Alabari Daisy is asking that what is future engineering?
Okay, so future engineering, so in simple terms, future engineering is more of creating new features from your data sets. Now, when you hear features are more of your columns, right? So if you have a data set with, you have your data set, it usually comes in rows and columns, right? So if you have like a customer data set, it has the date column, it has name of the customer, it has their month of birth, their year of birth. All those columns are actually features. That's what we call them in the data science space, right? They are features. Now, future engineering is the process of creating new features, new columns from the data set you have. So now, if you're performing or you're trying to build a machine learning model, or you are doing an analysis, and you realize that there's a feature you really need in order for you to get an accurate result, all you need to do is just create a new feature. Now, example of creating a new feature is, let's say you need the year of, let's say you want to calculate how many years left for retirement. How many years does an employee have left till they retire? Now, looking at the data set, there's no retirement age there or retirement timeline in your data set. Now, how can you create it? All you need to do is probably collect the year of their date of birth, how long they've been in the business, subtract it from how long they've been in the business, the national retirement age. I think in Nigeria it's 65 or 70. Subtracting it from their date of birth, right? Doing that, you are creating a new future. So that is future engineering, creating a new future from your already data sets in order to improve your analysis. So Daisy, I hope I was able to answer that for you. Was it clear enough?
All right. There's no response from my end. Okay. I think there is no other question from the chat box or from anybody here. I had a question earlier, but you already answered. Okay. Emmanuel is raising his hand again.
No, I think it's the same thing we want to say. So maybe you just say yours first, and then I'll see if it matches what I want to ask.
Okay.
Oh, no, please, you can go ahead. You can. Please go ahead.
All right. So whilst Favour was answering some of the questions, I remembered she talked about something about domain expertise, right? Where you don't even have to, like, if you have the means to get an education, please do. But in the industry, they don't really require you to have such what's it called now, university certificates in a particular field for you to do data analysis or data science. So what I was going to ask is, now I've seen like 2 jobs that I can apply for. One is at a radio station as a data analyst. One is at a lab that's a technical lab or clinic, right, where maybe they do samples and all those maternity stuff as a data analyst. So before she said, gave the point that she did, I did not even bother applying for those jobs because I always had the opinion that, oh, maybe I need to be a microbiologist coming into tech, then I can now easily apply for a job as a data analyst in a lab, you get? Or the one for radio station, maybe I needed to study mass comm before I can apply for this job. But when she said that, something clicked in my head. I just forgot about the question before. So now she is a perfect example of how she has been able to do this in her own career path, right? So she doesn't have any experience in insurance, and she was able to transition smoothly into that industry. So I just want to ask, like, what is the in reality, what's the expectation? Like, am I expecting that I would work in a lab and the data sets I would be presented with wouldn't have anything to do with medicine? Like, is that how it would happen? Like, I'll be interacting with data sets that wouldn't require me to really know anything about specimen and, maybe broadcasting network and all those things if it was a radio station. So I just wanted to, like, okay, maybe just summarize how realistic it's been for you working in insurance. What kind of data sets did you interact with that you were actually able to cope even without having any experience in insurance? Sorry for the long question.
No problem. Okay, so before I say that, just to put this out there, when I say my company did not require me to have domain knowledge, that does not mean that I won't, or I'm not working on data set that has to insurance data sets. You will, but the company does not see it as a priority that you need to know and everything regarding the insurance industry in order to work in that company. But they expect you that while you're working with them, you should be building your domain knowledge. You should be, on trying to take up the online courses they have on insurance, financial institute. You should be, taking up those courses to build your domain knowledge. Now, if the company does not specify domain knowledge, that does not mean that you would not be working with medical data sets. You will, because that's what the industry is all about, or even in the radio station, right? That is what the industry is all about. But they are just only letting you know that we believe that domain knowledge is something you can acquire while you are working with us. But it is not a priority. It's not a must-have for you before you get employed, but it's something you should have, or it's something you would definitely learn while you are, in the job. So I hope I'm able to answer that.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. I don't know if there is any further questions before I hand over to Ayomide. All right, for now, I don't think there is any, so Ayomide, over to you, please. Sorry, Ma, you wanted to say something?
No, I think, Obina, you have your hands raised, so you can go ahead if you have any questions.
All right, okay, my question is this. Favour, a follower of yours on LinkedIn And a couple of times you've made mention of the mathematics to learn as regards data science, which are statistics, linear algebra, and to an extent, calculus. Are we going to be covering some of these mathematics in the forthcoming cohort? Thank you.
Okay, so I don't think that question is for me. I think it's for Ayomide. Yeah. I'm actually not the one taking the course actually, but I believe that it's part of the courses, if I'm not mistaken.
Hello, Bina.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, like I said, you can always go check our curriculum to have a full knowledge of what you'll be getting. I think that would be the best way to do it. You can always check our brochure. I think I will just look for the link and just paste it here so you can just go and view it. I think that would be better.
All right, thank you,
I hope that.
Ayomide.
Okay, Kola.
Yeah, sorry, I think as to that question, the basic mathematics, or let me say statistical knowledge will be covered in terms of stuff like mean, like average, like variance, like standard deviation, and how significant they are, like the impact of these things in our data sets. So they will cover those stuff, but it won't go deep as if someone is going to the university to study statistics or mathematics.
Okay, okay, so statistics, right? Statistics is something that even the university or online courses, they will teach you what you need to learn. But the truth is that you still need to do your own personal studies to go deeper and understand it more, right? The university is not going to teach you everything that you need to know. They won't, else there won't be any need for online courses and stuffs like that, right? So even with the training, university courses and all of that, you still need to do your own personal studies. That's the only way you can gain deeper knowledge into what you want to know.
All right, thank you so much, Favour. Last call for any questions. All right. I don't think there is. All right, I don't think there's any hand raised again. So I'll hand over to Ayomide to round up now.
So yeah, thank you, Oye, Damola, and Favour. Yeah, so like I said, Obin, I'll paste the link for the brochure very soon. Yeah, so I would like to thank you all for joining this section. Thank you all for making it a date with us. Yeah, thank you all. You can always reach out to us on WhatsApp. Yeah, you can always reach out to us on WhatsApp on this number displaying here, or this email. I'm not sure. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah. So you can reach out to us on WhatsApp, or you can send us a mail via contact@udumaritech.com, and you can always check out our social media platforms at Udumaritech on all platforms. So yeah, thank you all for joining. Obina, please give me a few seconds to send you the link before you go, please. Okay, yeah, there. Obina, please, you can go ahead and check the brochure. I just dropped the link. Thank you, Favour. Thank you so much. I'm sure everyone learned a thing or two. Yeah, thank you. This has been an amazing section with you. Thank you.